All right, greetings, welcome. So if you're watching this and you've never watched a video on my channel and you just happen to find it and you don't know who I am Sequoia, and I have in front of me a plate of fruit. So for the last 40 days, I have been on a fruit juice detox, which means that I have been drinking 1 gallon of homemade fruit juice a day, and that is all that I've had over the last 40 days. I started this about a month and a couple weeks before the 40 days started with the intention to do it, but there was a preparation time. I wasn't ready, my body wasn't ready, I wasn't ready with my intentions. I wasn't really committed to it. So I had went for 7 days and then I ate a meal and then went for another 7 days and then ate a meal. So there was a month of my body and my diet shifting before I committed into the fruit juice only part of it. In that preparation time, in general, I eat relatively healthy. I tend to have a lot of smoothies and I eat whole foods, whole organic foods. I don't eat meat and generally do not eat animal products, or actually I do not eat animal products. So for the most part, I didn't have that much of a shift to make with my diet because I feel like it's considered relatively healthy. However, my weak point is eating out. I definitely love to eat at restaurants and get food to go. I love Thai food, and that has been my thing through this whole thing is Thai food, and that was the thing that it was like 7 days of fruit juice and then it was eating some Thai food. So that was the thing that drew me off of it, was the urge, the tendency to go get food out. That quick meal, that quick satisfaction. However, the last few times that I've eaten food out, I've noticed that it didn't make me feel so good, actually. It made my stomach hurt. I felt kind of bloated afterwards. I felt my energy tired. I felt my mood shift. I felt myself get a little bit more foggy and tired and more exhausted. So it was just a heavier, denser feeling about me. And yet I kept doing it. I kept eating food out, right? And the same thing, even when I ate the smoothies, I still kept feeling that sort of not so great feeling after I would have a smoothie. There was kind of some awareness that needed to come into it. One, my smoothies are nutrient dense, and also they were high in calories. So it was a smoothie had enough for all of my meals in a day, and so it would leave me not feeling hungry for the rest of the day. And it's been a habit of having these smoothies, kind of a mindless habit, rather than really checking in with myself and seeing and asking and listening, what is it that I really need to nourish myself with, as opposed to what do I always nourish myself with, and just making that quick decision to go with that predetermined plan without actually checking in. So really what it's about is the process of coming into conscious awareness with what we're doing, what we're putting into our body, the food that we're eating, and why we're making the decision to eat it. It doesn't mean that, if I want to eat Thai food, that I should not have the Thai food. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But the point is to check in first and to listen into my body and kind of see what is that about. Am I eating out of boredom? Am I eating because am I really actually hungry? Am I eating because I don't know what else to eat, so I'm just making a quick decision to go to something? So there's a lot that lives in being aware when we're checking in to see what it is that we need to nourish ourselves with. And that is something that I've been really aware of through this whole thing, especially since mainly I've only been having fruit juice. So the decision has been very easy what to eat or what to nourish myself with. And it's been very satisfying. At no point through this did I feel hungry or undernourished. Now, if I missed some of the juice, I would quickly start to feel the effects, and it would remind me that I needed to have some fruit juice. So it was really easy to keep the gallon of fruit juice going a day. The maintenance to make a gallon of fruit juice a day was quite a chore. I do not drive, I ride a bike. So it meant that I was biking to and from every 3 to 4 days, my local food cooperative, to get enough fruit to juice 3 gallons of juice, which was a lot. So my bike was full, my basket was full, and then coming back and cleaning the fruit and prepping the fruit and peeling it and seeding it. The juicer that I use is a Hamilton Beach. It's not a fancy juicer. It's just a basic run-of-the-mill juicer. It did a fabulous job. It juiced everything phenomenally. I had to filter the pulp out, but the juicer really held up just well. So at first I was kind of thinking when I went to this, I need a different juicer and this juicer isn't going to cut it, but wrong, the Hamilton Beach worked great. So thank you, Hamilton Beach. Okay, so the actual process of juicing 3 gallons of fruit took about 2 to 3 hours when I would have juicing day. So I did that every 3 days. I would juice for the next 3 days and it would make 3 gallons of juice. So juicing days was a little rough because that 2 to 3 hours of prepping juice and juicing it and cleaning the juicer several times and filtering all the pulp out and putting it in the bottles and getting it ready was exhausting. Like it took a lot. I didn't realize how tiring I would feel from standing there juicing for 2 to 3 hours. So I don't usually put that much preparation into the food I make. I can make a meal for myself in under 30 minutes and be eating it within that 30 minutes. So something that takes 2 to 3 hours of preparation was humbling, actually. I just don't cook like that. So anyways, however, it did reset me a little bit to where I'd started to fall into a habit of eating out all the time, going to get smoothies instead of making my own. Going to the local smoothie raw food juice place and getting raw food or whatnot, relying on food out or Thai food. I'll just keep addressing Thai food. So that had become the tendency. It's just me. I just cook for myself. So there was a little bit of boredom coming in of eating, going and making food for just myself and also eating the same thing. I started to fall into a pattern of just being bored and just wanting to go get the food and be done with it and not really put any energy or appreciation into it. So it was easier to start eating out. So I had fallen into that pattern of doing that more than I was eating at home. And then I started to notice the effects on my body from eating food that I wasn't preparing. I notice a drastic difference when I make food at home compared to when I eat food out. And that is considering that I pick the healthiest of options for places when I'm eating out. So I'm not eating fast food and I'm not eating, processed food in general. So anyways, so that was humbling to spend the time to make the food, and it kind of reset me back. And I look forward at this point to, actually put a little bit of time into exploring some recipes and meals that I can make that will be exciting. So most of this was really easy. What I will say is the fruit juice detox is a deep detox. I feel like in general, I'm relatively healthy. I detox twice a year in the fall and the spring. I usually do an Ayurvedic detox. And then through the year, I usually do several 3-day juice cleanses, but they're usually green juices. I'm not in general a fruit person. So this was a huge shift for me just to be fruit juicing, doing fruits, let alone juicing fruits. So that's in general my process. However, the last 2 years, I did not do a spring and fall cleanse. I only did a couple 3-day green juice cleanses. And I slipped over the last couple years of moving into eating more out and having less movement and being less physical. So going into this, I thought that all of those factors that have happened over the last 2 years would mean that I was going to have a more challenging detox. However, I feel that it wasn't that challenging. I didn't have any drastic effects. Like my skin didn't break out. I wasn't sweating. I get migraines anyways, so I had a couple migraines, but there was through the body of this where I actually had 0 migraines through it, which was kind of interesting. There was at least a several week period, 2 to 3 week period in there where I did not have any major migraines drop in. So I don't know, because my migraines are kind of, they fluctuate, they're not consistent. So it's hard to tell whether that was just a effect of the fruit juice detox or whether that was just a natural, 2 things happening at the same time, like the fruit juice detox and the fact that my body just wasn't processing migraine then. So anyways, for the most part, the detox felt really simple. And there were times where I felt a little tired and, wanted to sleep. And even physically, I didn't do a lot physically. However, I went for bike rides, I walked. I teach some classes that require a little bit of movement, and I engaged in movement in those ways. And I wasn't getting tired. It was fine. I was able to sustain myself, no problem. I imagine that if I attempted to embark on any kind of a major feat, I would have probably felt exhausted fast. However, I don't know because I didn't do that. So, I have a bubble in my ear. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to leave it there. So, all right, I'm at day 40, and it's been relatively easy. Okay, actually, this is what I wanna say. The most challenging thing through it, and this was at the beginning, and it's come up again here at the end, has been that eating out, that temptation to eat food out. And it's so interesting because I'm not hungry, right? I feel completely nourished from what I've been feeding myself and putting in my body. Yet that Thai food or the bean tacos, which is the other thing that I've been telling everybody I know, bean tacos. So though, the places that I like to eat out have come up. And I noticed the habit of wanting to order out, get food, and then bring it back and eat it here, right? Those temptations have been the strongest, and they were strongest at the beginning, as in round 1 beginning, when I first started this, but I said I had to go through a preparation phase. And then they've come up really strong in the last 2 days as I know that I'm moving towards the phasing out process. So yesterday and today's day 40, today's day 41, yesterday is day 40, also day 39. I noticed it at day 39. So day 39, 40, and today. I have noticed the thought of, well, we're past day 40. Now I can, go get some Thai food, or I can order a veggie roll, or I can go get a smoothie. All of those things are quickly trying to drop back in. And what I notice is it's a temptation. It's from old habit that needs to be reset. Because ultimately, all of the needs that I am getting from those quick meals can be satisfied from a meal that I make here in my space. And then I can save those experiences for the occasional. I like to do it, so I'm going to enjoy that, but I don't need to do it every day and all the time. And that's really the temptation. So I'm noticing the temptation pull me in pretty fast, and I'm having to sit present with it. So even just going to the grocery store to get some more fruit, I have been really sensitive to smell. I can smell not only the food cooking, but I can smell everything. My sense of smell has completely shifted through this. It's very interesting. At first, it was just smelling food cooking and being able to identify and smell like everything and, you know, tune into what smelled good and what didn't smell good. And then it has shifted into being able to smell everything, like soil, trees, like stuff in the air, like just everything. So that has been one thing that I've noticed that has shifted. And so when I went to the grocery store, it was really interesting because I went in to get some fruit, and through all 40 days of this, it's been super easy. I went in, it's been this calm process of getting some fruit, and looking around, connecting with the fruit, and taking my time, and, you know, then biking the fruit home. This time, oh, and all of the 40 days when I've done this, when I'm at the store getting fruit, it's also, I've smelled all the buffet food cooking, all the deli food. I've smelled all of the food that's in there, and it smelled great, but I had zero desire for it, like none. Over starting on day 39 though, 40 and 41 now, when I have went into the grocery store to get my fruit, I've smelled that food and I've started noticing, oh, I could actually go over and, you know, get some deli asparagus, right? And I found myself walking over there, like kind of in a daze, walking over there. And I stopped and I was like, wait, what am I doing? Like, why am I even over here? And then I started walking around the store and just taking in different things in the store, like walking through the different aisles and noticing how I was feeling just energetically when I went down like the pasta aisle. When I went down like the aisle where, you know, like the cans of beans are, or where like the tofu is, or the frozen foods. I don't even eat frozen foods, but in general, I was just walking around and getting a sense of how I was energetically feeling in all of those different aisles and around all those different foods before I got the fruit. So what I noticed is when I went into aisles like the pasta aisle, well, I'll just use that one for example, I started noticing my energy shifting to where it was like pulling me in to this sort of like craving place. It was like I hadn't even thought about it or wanted it until I walked in the aisle. But when I went in the aisle, I felt myself, you know, being like, oh, I could, you know, you can have some pasta with, you know, marinara and eat all this pasta and whatever. And it's like I never eat pasta. So the thought came up, I was like, this is interesting, because I in general don't eat pasta. Pasta once in a while I'm okay with, but pasta too much or more than once in a while, it just doesn't resonate well with me. So I was like, okay, get out of the pasta aisle. Like, this is too much. Like, I'm just like fanning the fire of temptation and desire right now, right? So obviously, you know, my body is ready to eat. It's ready to take in more than just fruit juice. I'm ready to chew. And all of those old, you know, I have through my life enjoyed pasta, and I have, you know, a lot of different foods I've enjoyed through my life. So it's interesting how right now, after 40 days of just fruit juice, I'm sitting on the verge of the transition into eating. And all of those foods and habits and patterns are really present, and they're really speaking really loud. And but I feel really solid in just kind of saying, you know, no, like I can appreciate it, just like I've been enjoying some of the smells of food cooking in the neighborhood, like the Thai food. I can like smell it and it smells amazing. But I've been enjoying just the smell. Like, it's actually been really satisfying just to smell it and not to eat it. So that has been great, and I feel like I'm in a super solid place. I am ready to eat. So this is day 41, and what I have in front of me here is a plate of fruit. I have mangoes, apples, and blueberries. And my transition phase is including a couple days of whole fruits and continuing juice. I still have some juice left to drink that I've juiced. So I will continue to use the fruit juice and juice. And for today and the next couple days, I will add in whole fruits. And then in about 3 days, I'm going to add in whole veggies and eat some raw veggies. And then I will start to add in, actually I'm gonna add in avocados before I add in the veggies. I'm gonna do the fruits, whole fruits, and then in next couple of days I'm gonna add in avocado, and then I'll start adding in the raw veggies. And then in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, I'm gonna add in nuts and seeds, and I'll just slowly start bringing myself off of it. And then in 3 to 4 weeks, I'm gonna give myself some Thai food. So anyways, I thought I would share my first meal back. I'm excited to see what this is like, what it tastes like to eat for the first time, to chew food after 40 days. Granted, it's fruit, so I've been juicing this fruit. I've been drinking it, right? But I'm so curious to see how the difference is when I bite into it and what happens. So we're gonna start with a blueberry. First, I'm gonna give thanks for my food. I'm just gonna thank the earth for the blessing that is provided from this nourishing food, this whole food, this organic whole fruit, this locally grown fruit. I am so grateful to be and to live where I do, to have access to locally grown whole foods that come from within a distance of where I live. And I think that this makes all the difference. And I feel so blessed and grateful to be in a place where I have access to this. And so I thank the earth, and I thank the people whose hands touch this fruit and who worked to cultivate this fruit and bring it to life and to transport it to the stores that allows me to be able to eat and nourish myself with this. And I thank them, and I thank the whole process, and I thank the earth for all the love and beauty that, and the sunlight that has went into this fruit as well. And I also give thanks to my body. Thank you for being healthy and for nourishing me and guiding me along this journey. Thank you. Okay, here goes a blueberry. That was amazing. That was rich and sweet and juicy. It's interesting. I can feel the difference of chewing food and just drinking it. This is definitely a sweet moment. So I'm going to now eat a mango. So through this whole thing, mangoes have been, let me say this first. Blueberries were really amazing through this too, but juicing a blueberry is not the same as eating a blueberry. Like that tasted amazing, right? That was so rich. It was so fresh. It was so sweet. It was like nectar. It's like the best. However, juicing a blueberry, it's not the same. So I started with juicing blueberries, but I eventually just gave up juicing blueberries altogether. So I'm gonna do a mango now. Mangoes though, that's what I was gonna say. Mangoes have been amazing. Like juicing mangoes has been amazing. All right. Here we go, here I go. It's so sweet. It's like interesting because the fruit juice is sweet, but the fruit is like super sweet. And it's so nourishing to be able to eat the, chew and to, actually let the flavor move into the mouth. It's actually kind of hard right now to chew and not swallow. And that's one of my habits, is not chewing my food. I don't tend to chew enough, but I'm noticing that this, like the blueberry and the mango, it's kind of hard. Like the mango just wanted to slide down, right? So, yeah, that was really good. Thank you for, if anybody's actually watching, I have no idea, but thank you for enjoying this, my first meal after 40 days of just drinking juice. Oh my gosh. This is amazing, like amazing. I don't even know. I wish you could taste this right now, like how amazing this mango tastes. Oh my gosh, I'm blown away. It's like satisfying me on so many levels. I can feel like energetically and physically, like so many parts of myself right now just like singing inside. And I want to express it to you, but I can't. Like, it's so hard unless you've been, I guess just, I don't know, for me, it took the 40 days of juicing in order to get to this point to really actually sit here and be like, whoa, like, I don't feel like I've ever tasted food like this before. Like, this is just amazing. I can taste, it's interesting, I don't know how to describe it, but I am able to distinguish probably about 5 different flavors in this mango. They're all sweet, but I'm tasting like very distinct flavors in the mango. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm gonna go for an apple. And it was interesting. Apples really aren't my favorite fruit. I'm not really that, I'm grateful for the apple. I don't wanna like say that I'm not, but in general, I think I tend to like tropical fruits better and berries than, the apples, but apples have been a huge part of this detox for me because they've been in plenty, they've been plentiful. So I've been using a lot of apples. So, okay, here goes an apple. This is gonna require some chewing, so. Wow. That had a very quick burst of flavor and energy that came with it. And I salivated a lot when that went into my mouth, and it was like an instant like zing, and then it quickly dropped. The mango had more of a sustaining, I could even still taste the mango while I was masticating the apple. So that was interesting. But definitely, such a different texture. Like mangoes are, like slimy and slick. And apples have that more dense texture to them, that more fibrous texture to it. So interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And I feel like I need to eat more of the blueberries to like experience that more because I just had one blueberry. So yeah, and it's interesting also to notice with the apple, like I noticed my body responding differently. So I noticed like when I was eating the mango, and just after I ate it, I could feel like into my digestive system, I could feel everything starting to work, all of the mechanism, all the parts, all the organs, all the juices, like everything start to kind of flow and work. And I could feel all the different layers of my digestive system starting to kind of kick into action there, more into action. And the apple, like I said, it had a really quick initial burst of energy, and I felt everything like flare up. And then the juices extracted from the apple, and then it was just left with the fibrous part inside. And it felt like, once the juices were swallowed, it was like I felt something different in my system than with the mango. So I don't know what I'm experiencing. A lot of times, like I understand how things work on a lot of levels, and I can feel a lot of different things, but I don't always have the words to explain it. I work my way through it, but I don't always have it. So, okay, so that is my first meal in 40 days. I'm going to sit here and slowly eat and process this fruit. I doubt I will be able to eat this giant plate of fruit, but I just figured I'd cut up like an apple, a mango, and see what happens. But I'm gonna sit here, and my plan here is to slowly chew and be present with this meal, and then to give myself about 20 minutes of digestion time afterwards. I doubt it will take me that long to digest this. It's fruit, and I've been drinking fruit juice, so like, but I'm at least going to get in the practice of a calm post-meal digestion, because that's my other habit, is to quickly get food, quickly eat it, quickly chew it, inhale it, and then afterwards quickly move on. Yeah, that's my habit. And so for me, it isn't necessarily what I'm eating in general, it's how I'm eating it and the behaviors that I have around food practices, which are what I am working to retrain myself and reprogram, are those food behaviors and patterns. So thank you for watching. And yeah, this is my process on day 41 at the end of the fruit juice detox. Excellent. Thank you for watching, and have a amazing day. I guess to close out, I would just say that hopefully, or if any part of this, remember to like and subscribe. Oh, right, I have to say that. So like and subscribe to like my video, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it if you do. I'm just starting to do YouTube lives. I'm getting used to how all this works. And yeah, I guess if you are someone who is feeling called to do some kind of a detox or cleanse, then I went online and I did a lot of research and Googling and asking people about it to get information. And obviously it's a long detox. It's important to check in with your healthcare provider to make sure that it's right for you, especially if it's fruit. I mean, this is a really limiting diet. I mean, usually the Ayurvedic detoxes that I do, I'm actually eating, vegetables and khichdi, and it becomes a mono diet, but I'm still eating food. So it's not really the same as a really restricted diet of just fruit and fruit juice for that matter. So I feel like this type is definitely really good. I've definitely lost weight. I didn't really need to lose weight. However, I had gained probably about 10 pounds over the last couple of years. So that's gone for sure, and then some. So now I have a little bit of leeway room as I can eat now, and I can gain a little bit of weight. So that's great. But yeah, definitely if you're somebody who's feeling called to, detox or do some kind of a cleanse or a fast, it's good to research out to find out the one that's best for you. The fruit one might be right for you, it might not. I can say that in the first 14 days of this is when I lost the weight. My body reset itself in 14 days, all of that was gone. So I guess if you're looking for a, fast weight loss option, there's that. But I also am gonna say that to, check in with your healthcare provider and make sure you do it with caution, because we're all different. There is no one size fits all for diets, for fasting, for detoxes. And what is right for me is not right for anybody, and vice versa. And we really have to find what does work for us. And we have to listen to our bodies. And that's really the point, is learning to tune in and listen and be able to understand the messages our body is giving, and then know how to nourish ourselves and feed ourselves appropriately for our most optimal health. And it's easy for us to fall out of that pattern. It's easy to find ourselves caught in eating out, or quick meals, or getting bored with eating, or not wanting to put the energy into it, or all of those things, So it's really easy in life to fall into the humdrum of eating, right? The burden of eating sometimes, I guess. And we lose that connection to the life of our food. Like, this is life, right? This is what gives us life. And it's how the earth is sustaining us. It's her gift to us so that we can be, here in this world as participants and co-creators in the world. So what we feed ourselves is really important. And I definitely am in all things in moderation kind of person. So like I said, I like to eat out. So, I'm not going to be somebody who says I'm never going to eat out again, because it's not true. Like, I will, or I'm never going to have a bean taco again, right? I know I will. Or French fries. That's my huge thing. I don't eat a lot of French fries, but I do love French fries. I don't eat them fast food, but a French fry from a place that's a good fry, like, there's probably going to be a point in time where that is in front of me and it comes up, and I will be able to enjoy it because it's limited. It's here and there. And when I do, it's not an all the time thing, and I don't get addicted to it and find myself like wanting them every day. When I do, that is my cue that I need to detox and I need to reset, is when the habits start to come in, when I start to notice that I'm wanting to eat, French fries, for instance, or some food that is not a whole, natural, organic food. When I'm wanting to go into those habits, patterns, and potential addictions into eating things that are I know are not good for me, or not going to help me with my well-being. So with that being said, I will bring this to a close at this point by just saying I am a big proponent of detoxing and cleansing, for sure. And I do think that with everything we take into our system, it is important to give ourselves some form of process of keeping that balance of, if we're somebody who does eat out a lot, then a detox could be to take a week of not eating out. That would be a valid detox, right? So there's lots of ways to detox. We just have to be creative about it and find what works. And it really depends on our goal and what we're looking for, and then of course checking in with, whatever, healthcare practitioner or person, with those qualifications that you trust, to see also what would support you and be right for you. And then finding the one that does work. So, all right, thank you, like, subscribe. And again, I am Sequoia, and thank you for joining me on my first meal after 40 days. Woohoo! I did it! Yay! Okay.